Hare Krishna. Om Gyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. Hare Krishna. We will continue our discussion. Ajamila, this is some important lessons for us. How everything collapsed for him. Now, Yamadutas are putting the case in front of Vishnu Dutas. Why they are arresting Ajamil? So they explained whole first section. They explained to Vishnu Dutas what is dharma. We have to follow the injunctions that are given in the scriptures. Actually, a very important point I wanted to uh, tell here that how culture is so much important to practice bhakti. That is very important understanding. It's not just it is not just the this is a very nice understanding. I'll just tell. See, people say that mm, life is actually blissful. Modern world, especially the Western, has experienced a profound breakdown in human connections. People live in society yet are deprived of genuine ties to that society. They feel increasingly isolated, increasingly lonely, and increasingly unused of why they exist or what is happening to them. So this is a very important point to be understood because there is a harmony that is very much important. Like we have everything, uh, struggle, passion, suffering, pleasure, anxiety. But one thing we came for here is we are not finding. That is, we came into this world to connect to Krishna, to discover happiness, to experience bliss. But yet something is missing in what we do and how we live. Now, very important point. The philosophy is given to us. It is perfect philosophy. It contains answer to all the questions. But philosophy alone is not sufficient. Philosophy can only function properly within a certain cultural environment. So when people who are far from the culture try to adopt the philosophy without the corresponding way of life, then the distortion arises. So extreme appears. So what should be beautiful becomes dry, difficult, and confusing. That is the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the our philosophies Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. This is a very important point here. Renunciation we practice, but it becomes dry, lifeless because we lack the cultural foundation. So that transforms renunciation, which transforms renunciation into bliss. So I am trying to make this point. You will understand. This is a very uh, important to understand. This there is a harmony between detachment and apparent attachment that we have not yet understood. So we do not possess the sense of proportion that would allow us to live in this world while gradually developing love of God. That means we need love that naturally manifests as detachment in the world, not as a rejection. That means We are living with our family, but love should also manifest. So this is where the culture comes. So the culture that teaches us not merely to renounce, but to attach correctly. Not just renounce, but you have to attach correctly. So to build a proper connection with people, to experience right pleasure, and gradually, naturally develop the spirit of renunciation within. So that is the reason Lord has given all this dharma and culture. So the nature, like sin and isolation, are not nearly synonyms. The more a person sins, na, the more the connections binding him to others are severed. The most isolated are the most lonely people in this world are criminals, because they have placed themselves in that situation. So Prabhupada, this is another nice point. And Prabhupada, he brought Krishna conscious to the West. His audience are ready to hear about renunciation. They're already renounced. The hippies and seekers are already rejected mainstream society. So their attachment has already largely been destroyed, with the exception of one, because they are attached to sense pleasure. All other connections are snapped only for them. Now, what happened? So, when they embrace the philosophy of renunciation eagerly, because attachment to sense pleasure remain alive within them, so their renunciation becomes something confused, something unstable. And when the test came, when the Krishna sent them trials, they could not endure. That's why we see after Prabhupada left, many of them they could not continue practicing. That's why maybe 10% of Prabhupada disciples are actively practicing. The problem is not with the philosophy, but with the culture. So philosophy teaches renunciation, culture teaches correct attachment. This is that's why Bhagavatam we have Yadrichya mat katado jatu shaddastu yah puman na nirvinno natisekto bhakti yogosta siddhida. So how does bhakti is? It's a process of yadrichya. By some good fortune, then what happened? He got jata shraddha. He got shraddha. But here, how a person achieves perfection in bhakti? Na nirvinno natisekto. Neither too detached nor too attached. So this is the point. This is the golden mean, and we know it from experience. If we approach someone too attached in this world, we will not be able to preach him. He will quickly give it up. Even if he takes to the path also, because of its attachment, he will not continue. But the other extreme is, somebody is non-irvino, too much detached. Then also it is difficult. So the culture, the Varnashrama, is precisely a culture of correct attachment. It teaches how to exist in the world and relate to it rightly. So because if all ties are broken, if one has no natural attachment to people around, no friends, no family, then we cannot understand what it means to be attached to Krishna also. We simply do not know what attachments feel. So Krishna remains an abstraction or a concept only, not as a person to be loved. This is the problem. So Krishna made all the arrangements. So he gave this dharma to develop proper attachments in this world, and then he also gave the philosophy. So that is the reason of the philosophy and the sculpture. Both are needed. So Ajamila did not follow that. And then they give the chronological biography Ajamila. So this fellow did not follow. And the goal, the then what happened? Then they said, see, they established, the Yamadutas established how this person is meant to be punished. So that is a remedial measure. So we have seen that the prosecution must build an absolutely flawless case, but the holy name is risking. That is different. So here they explain the character of Ajamil. They explain his intellectual mastery and his ritual purity. All the three things. He studied Vedas, knows mantras, firmly established in reservoir of good character, mild and gently, always truthful, never spoke nonsense, never envious, free from false prestige, mind and senses controlled, very pure, respectful, upright. These are all karma standards are very much there by. So now they explain how he fall down. So this is the problem. suddenly he senses. So this is like a suppression. So what was very rare in previous ages, Kali Yuga, it is so common. Now the moha, we have seen how this moha is representing by the planet Rahu, and then Buddhi is representing by Sun. It is covered. Now Ajamila has an exhaustive Brahmanical education, but he fell down. The internal, Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa. It is very much. Now what happened is Ajamila's method keeps desire alive but controlled. So root is brahmacharya as a strict cultural practice, collapses under extreme sensory pleasure. So this is, even if you are in karma, there is always a chance of falling. So bhakti eliminates. Now here the system collapsed. The knowledge and willpower did not work for him, and now yukta asita matparaha, to maintain self control is strictly impossible under the pressure, under superficially under the protection of specifically under the protection of supreme lord. So when we are with Krishna, then only we can be protected by Maya. Otherwise, not possible. So here the steps of all done we can. So I wanted to show another presentation for this. This is also very important. So this is anatomy of anxiety. Of course, not just anxiety, but just one part of anxiety. But I want to tell how the structural things, that how rational response to environment stress into a permanent personality trial, because this helps us to understand how we start becoming like that. First is the situation, like the person has a demanding job. This is a one example I am giving to make us understand how the things become deep rooted. Like say any of the patterns we have, how they become very deep, and to come out of it becomes difficult, even though we know it is wrong. So first is situation, like there is a demanding job, financial pressure, anxiety in situations, and appropriate. So then what happens is a daily pattern. Daily pattern is stress. It continues even on calm days. Also, anxiety persists. Like say today is Sunday, but tomorrow is Monday. Sorry, yesterday was Sunday. Today is Monday. So Sunday also, as soon as you know that okay, Monday is coming, there is anxiety, stress coming. And then the mind reacts to positive events with instant anxiety only. Even things come very simple, mind is still in an anxiety state. And then the person starts, the condition is complete, they self identify as an anxiety person. So I'll explain this more detail. The first stage is seed. In that seed, what happens? A specific external event, like say minor chemical wash and effortless and neurological state. And then what happens is it stays for few minutes. That the external event, some anxiety will stay for few minutes. Neurological state means like any emotion, it is actually chemicals from the mind. I'm making it little technical, but I'm just, you will understand it very easily. Like no, there are some chemicals that are released in our mind as soon as we experience some stress or something. And then what happens? We become normal. It lasts for few seconds. So suddenly you got an external event. Suddenly your child broke the glass. So you came into some anxiety, and then little anger came, and then you become normal in few minutes. What happens now? It is repeating. You are getting the same event again and again. That fellow is not studying, your child. So similar same marks he's getting every time he's failing. Now what happens? This chemical reaction that becomes familiar. It is coming again and again. You are becoming angry. Now it requires a conscious effort to become normal, because it is lasting for hours, like fight with wife or husband. So it is coming again and again and again, or in-laws or something. So it goes for hours and hours. And third level is the mood. Then what happens? This is a broad aggregate experiences. So more times, child is a problem, wife is a problem, boss is a problem, husband is a problem. Then what happened is sustained environment. And for days together in the house, there is a problem. So it requires intervention. Somebody should come and help us. It goes for days. Then the fourth stage, it becomes habit. So this is the red part. So unrelated categorical stimulus. That means even if normal state also na, that fellow starts becoming. So and he bypass conscious deliberation. So now the chemicals are just coming on their own. Anytime you touch him, he is a habitually he is a angry person because he went through the situation. Anytime he's angry person only, and requires severe intervention, and weeks and months together he is an angry person only. Why is I'm upset? Upset means for no reason, or anything you tell is upset only. And then last stage you start identifying that I am a angry person. That's all. He knows. And no, I am a stressful person. I am a depressed person. I am a I am insecure person. So this is actually the state. So pure internal baseline it becomes, and permanent structural adaptation and impossible to come out of it. So this is called bhava stage. This is the bhava. This is what Krishna tells in 8th chapter. Yamyam vapi smaram bhavam tejantante kalevaram. So this is the identification. When he leaves his body, he will get this type of body, whichever state we have. So the word bhava describes the atmospheric state of being in which a person permanently lives. And moment of death, whatever bhava cultivates. So why I am telling this is very the core problem. Actually, I should have started here. First stage is seed, second is repetition, third becomes habit, and fourth is I am the being of it. And the stage of seed is a mild, fleeting feeling arises, irritation, anxiety, desire. The chemical response is minor. So the chemicals are coming from the body, but it becomes more and more. The We cannot control the chemicals that are coming from our spine. So the emotions can pass as earlier. And the second is it becomes a group. The triggered repetition in a similar circumstance, the brain produces the exact same hormones. The emotion becomes familiar, even comfortable also. So when a person becomes angry, he start taking shelter of anger. So that is where the repeated chemical wash creates structural neurofamiliarity. So he feels, yeah, to be anger normal only, no, natural only. The day of emotional with sustained repetition transforms the momentary reactions into a weather system. The person lives inside an atmosphere of own accumulated creation, coloring every interaction. So this is the third stage where the problem comes. Is the atmospheric condition. So one and two are temporary reactions, but then the ecological baseline, he starts becoming like that. And then the default system. Anytime it comes, email, traffic, question, silence, news, habitual emotion reaction is stressed or anxiety or angry or depressed or insecure. Anything he becomes insecure, anything he becomes angry, anything he becomes stressed like that. Emotion becomes the automatic default response to entire category of experience. The mind reaches for it without any conscious deliberation. It simply happens. So, and the fifth stage is starts identifying. So, this is the now why I am telling this is because uh, this is the situation. This is the problem. Why people end up like that, even though they know, they continue to live like that only because they have made it so strong for them. It's so difficult for them to come out of that conditioning. Conditions are so deep that naturally makes a person, even though he knows he heard it and he's losing everything in his life, but he cannot come out only. So here Ajamila went into that state. So he was he spent his inheritance, abandoned his wife, abandoned the dharmic wife, and then he became total. He lost all the rituals, and how fast he collapsed, and that is because of eating that food. And now here, this is a very nice point. Cosmic persecution seeks remedial purification, not retributive vengeance. So Yamadutas are not villains. They operate on a sophisticated, compassionate legal logic. Punishment as a purification. So they it is so human model na there will be vengeance, but in Yamadutas they are therapeutic processing. So they are just trying to treat. So with suffering now can be freeing a person later. So that was the logic. That's what they are arguing. So he says that the absence of Vedic atonement seals the legal jurisdiction. So if somebody atones, there is some chance that he can be free from that pain. But Ajamila did not atone also. So that's why they said, no, he's directly under our control. We have to take charge of him. So Bhagavad Gita gives that. Uh, so Dhyaito Vishayan Pumsa, this is the logical sequence that is given. And then the six theological principles established by the evident record. So first is that the propositional demonstration, the rescue powers require the most complete fall possible. Then only bhakti eliminates desire and suppressing level fatal vulnerabilities, and then insufficient facilities. So then there is virtual velocity of collapse and systematic contamination, internal coherence. So this is, don't worry. I will not tell, means it is too technical, but it is good only. You read, you will understand if. So if a person does a wrong activity, how the system is working. So sin is not isolated. It recognizes one's entire economy, diet, and household. Remedial punishment is highly logical within the framework of karmic justice. The speed of fall massively outpass the years required for character formation. So for fall down, it takes so much less time, but to make character, it takes so much, so many years. Sin is not isolated. It is connected to the money, it is connected to your food, it is connected to household. Who is there in your house? The prostitute is there, and it is connected to economy. You want more money, greed is there, person commits sin. And what food we are eating, it is connected to sin. So that's what the fifth point. Fourth point is, if your collapse is very fast, to fall down it takes very less time, but to advance it takes more time, years and years. Internal coercion is remedial punishment is highly logical within the framework of karmic justice. So it is a very proper system that Lord gave. Punishment is to rectify the person. So knowledge and intelligence are not just sufficient. They cannot fight against desire. That's the third point. Even though you may have knowledge, you may have intelligence, still person will do sinful activities. And only bhakti can eliminate the desires. That is the second point. And so the rescue's power requires the most complete fall possible. So anyway, so these are the points here. An airtight legal case collides with the supreme overriding jurisdiction. So here Yamadutas are coming and they will tell him. Okay, so now we'll come to the purport point. So Yamadutas presented an unaccessible prosecution. So Vishnudutas will counter with a single truth. The liberating potency of the holy name, Namabhas, overrules the entirety of karmic law. So this is the second chapter, but we will come back to the first parts, some of the points from the purport also. Sunday morning itself anxiety comes. Saturday only happy that tomorrow is Sunday. Yeah, I have already shared this PPT, but again I'll share. Okay, so this is all purport I have summarized, but again we'll see. So the point which I told about how the person becomes more deep, that anxiety part. Maybe I'll elaborate some other time because I didn't want to take time from Prabhupada purport, so I didn't go in more detail about it. But it's a very nice point. So here we will come to okay, some of the purports. We have to hear from Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes so nicely. I only summarize, we'll directly hear also. Since the living entity associated with material nature, his awakened position. Yeah, this is over. 56 onwards, it is about the story of Ajamil. So, what all he did, how he did, then he saw the Shudra, and similarly, here the in the same way as sun and moon are eclipsed or lower planet, the Brahmana lost all good sense, taking advantage of the situation. He always thought of the prostitute, and within a short time, he took her as a servant in the house and abandoned all the regulative principles. So, this is what is happening. Sudhir Goswami want to impress upon the mind of the reader that Ajamila's exalted position as a Brahmana was vanquished by the association of prostitute, so much so that he forgot all his Brahminical activities. Nevertheless, at the end of his life, by chanting the four syllables of the name Narayana, he was saved from the great danger of falling down. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayato mahatupaya. Even a little devotional service can save one from the greatest danger. Devotional service, which begins with chanting of the holy name, is so powerful that even if one falls down from an exalted position of Brahmana through sexual indulgence, he can be saved from all calamities if he somehow or other chants the holy name of Lord. This is the extraordinary power of Lord's holy name. So that will come in the next chapter. So I'll not take, even Prabhuji is anyway taking on that. We'll discuss when next chapter comes. Thus Ajamila began spending whatever money he had inherited from his father to satisfy the prostitute with various material presentations so that she would remain pleased with him. He gave up all his Brahminical activities to satisfy the prostitute. So, Prabhupada is telling there are many instances throughout the world in which even a purified person being attached by a prostitute spent all money he had inherited. Prostitute hunting is so abominable that the desire for sex with a prostitute can ruin one's character, destroy one's exalted position, and plunder all one's money. Therefore, illicit sex is strictly prohibited. One should be satisfied with his married wife, for even a slight deviation will create havoc. A Krishna conscious grahastha should always remember this. He should always be satisfied with one wife and be peacefully simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Mm, Otherwise, at any moment he may fall down from his good position as exemplified. So nowadays it is becoming common. People are not able to do it. That is why things are become complicated. Because his intelligence was pierced by lustful glance of a prostitute. The victimized Brahmana Ajamila engaged in sinful acts for as his as her association sinful acts in her association. He gave up the company of his beautiful young wife who came from a very respectful Brahmin family. So wife was very good wife. Customarily, everyone is eligible to inherit father's property, and Ajamil also inherited uh, the money of his father. But when what did he do with the money? Instead of engaging in the money in the service of Krishna, engaged in the service of prostitute. Therefore, he was condemned and was punished by Yamaraj. How did this happen? He was victimized by the dangerous, lustful glance of a prostitute. Although born of a Brahmana family, this rascal, bereft of intelligence because of prostitutes' association, earned money somehow or other, regardless of whether properly or improperly, and used it to maintain the prostitute sons and daughters. This Brahmana, irresponsible, spent his long lifetime transgressing all rules and regulations of holy scriptures, living extravagantly, eating food prepared by the prostitute. Therefore, he is full of sin. is unclean, and is addicted to forbidden activities. So he is working hard, but in wrong direction. That is a problem. And so Prabhupada is writing that although this Brahmana irresponsible spent his long time transgressing all. So food prepared by unclean, sinful man or woman, especially a prostitute, is extremely infectious. Ajamila ate such food and therefore he was subjected to be punished. And then the last verse is this man Ajamila did not undergo atonement, therefore, because of sinful life, he must take him to the presence of Emeraj for punishment. There, according to the extent of his sinful act, he will be punished and thus purified. The Vishnudutas have forbidden Yamadutas to take Ajamila to Yamaraj. Therefore, Yamadutas explained that taking such a man to Yamaraj was appropriate. Since Ajamila had not undergone atonement for his sinful acts, he was to be taken to Yamaraj to be purified. When a man commits murder, he becomes sinful. Therefore, he also must be killed. Otherwise, after death, he must suffer many sinful reactions. Similarly, punishment by Yamaraj is a process of purification for most abominable sinful person. Therefore, the Yamadutas request the Vishnudutas not to obstruct their taking. So, if you see the people in this world, now sometimes people are going through extreme suffering. So, we feel very sad or why they are going. These people now they are not punished in hell for long time. If they got punished long time in hell, they would have their punishment would have been reduced here. So that's what Prabhupada is writing. When a man commits murder, he should be killed. Otherwise, after that, he must suffer many sinful reactions. So, Yamaraj, punishment by Yamaraj is a process of purification for most abominable sinful persons. Okay. So, any questions, comments? Yeah, this PPT I'll share. Yes, Shakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare-
I'm audible.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I understood one thing, Prabhuji. I wanted to share with you that all I was asking no Brahmana some questions last time.
Yes, yes.
See, Prabhu, what I understood to live in this life, we need dharma. Okay,
Yeah,
Prabhu. See, anything that even we have sense desire also, okay, it is allowed, but we have to fulfill keeping dharma as a base. So
yeah,
Ajamila was Ajamila is a Brahmana. So this world is three modes. Uh, in three modes, Ajamila is because he is sattva guna, so he is a Brahmana. Right,
yeah,
Prabhuji? Okay. So he is following dharma, but not bhakti. So he is in sattva guna, but he fell from that because of all these. So then later when he chanted Narayana, he got delivered because the outer circle is bhakti. Bhakti in bhakti yoga, this all dharmika, everything is inclusive. Right, Prabhuji?
yeah.
No, because I was confused. Why Brahmana means I was thinking that they are also like generally see I'm from a background where I don't know anything about all this how to worship or no, I don't know anything. I was thinking Brahmana means um, they are worshippers of Vishnu side, like Vishnu worship. So that worship itself, bhakti, like that I was thinking, Prabhuji. Now only I understand that because of they are in Sattva Guna, they are Brahmanas. Right, Prabhuji?
Ah, yes. They
Ah,
have some, they do bhakti also, but that is often. That is considered according to the verse which Prabhuji read in the Parpadna, the Vishnu Chakra, it is offensive only.
Okay. Now only I understood, Prabhuji. Prabhupada used to say like Satvaguna is favorable. Satvaguna is favorable, but for bhakti, Satvaguna is not necessary. I was one. I was always in confusion, Prabhuji. Now only I understood what is why Satvaguna is favorable, because from there going up to bhakti yoga is easy. But it doesn't mean that from there we have to go up. Anywhere we can go up, I understood, Prabhuji.
But ultimately, uh,
No, by following bhakti, we naturally come to sattva guna and everything because it's all inclusive. In that case, I'm trying to explain you like that.
means what happens na, even for bhakti to maintain, I was telling the culture part. To
Uh,
maintain bhakti, we need sattva guna. Otherwise, we cannot maintain. That's what happens. Like
but it
anybody
is
can come
not.
to Krishna consciousness. We
No,
need sattva.
it's not necessary that we have to be in sattva guna to
No, it is
start.
necessary. To start is not necessary. To maintain
To
it is
start.
necessary.
Uh, so once we perform bhakti yoga, naturally this um, um, sattva guna we naturally come because Prabhupada given all these regulative principles. When we
That
follow,
is
we
all to bring to sattva guna. All
so,
rules are to bring to sattva guna.
okay. But bhakti is beyond gunas, no, Prabhuji. It is
Beyond gunas, but you need favorable environment. Like, okay, bhakti you can chant anywhere. Now, if I tell you, Mother, every day morning you go to the railway station and you chant on the platform. So, where it is easy to chant in a very nice, normal place or in a railway station, you can do anywhere bhakti, na? Why
yeah,
you
yeah.
need to? Because we need some sattva to our mind. Then we'll chant. If
Okay.
even though wherever whichever place is there, bhakti you can do any place. But we have a problem with the places because our
Okay.
mind is not that level of unaffected by the situation. We get affected by the situation because we are in the mode. So that's why we
Okay.
need a sattva environment so that we don't get affected by it.
But still, this I'm unable to understand, Prabhu. We say bhakti is beyond modes, and still we need sattva guna. Still, I think still I'm
We
not
are in modes, na
understanding. I feel
Mataji. We are in modes, na. Bhakti is beyond modes, but we are in modes.
okay,
We are in we are in three modes. So that's why we'll need. If you
okay.
are beyond modes, then no problem. But we are affected by modes because we are in modes.
So though I
That's what
have
now. If you are that's what now. If I am telling you, Mataji, go to railway station and chant, or go to some park and chant where it is clean. So where it is easy for you to chant
obviously park.
in the park. Why? Bhakti is beyond modes, na? Why you are able to chant there nicely, here not nicely? Because we are affected by modes. So that is why we need a sattvic. So Prabhupada has established all these things to bring us to mode of goodness.
So external place also should be in sattva guna. I'm also in sattva guna. Then only it will
Sattva-guna,
be favor.
then long run to practice is easy.
Then what
To
is the meaning of bhakti beyond modes?
that means you can give to anybody bhakti. Prabhupada went and gave to hippies, but he did not want them to continue as hippies. He want them to change. See,
Okay.
you can give to anybody bhakti. A person who is very wrong, sinful person also, you can give him bhakti. But he has to come to a higher standard to continue that. Otherwise, he cannot continue.
Okay.
Like college students are there. Now I went and gave them bhakti. Now their rooms are very dirty. They don't take bath weekly, 2-3 times they take bath. Now should I tell them to come to mode of goodness or they can practice like that also? Should I
Uh,
tell them to come to mode of goodness or I'll tell them no matter you take once in
you
two
will
days
say
bath, no
because
problem.
of mode of goodness, or you will say that it is favorable for bhakti.
Because that will affect us. Even though bhakti is beyond, anybody anytime can practice, but our goodness is important to maintain our bhakti.
Okay. Uh, mm, I,
And
to an extent, I understood, Prabhu. Still, I that let my mind process intelligence, process this. Slowly, I will.
no, you can give to anybody, but you have to maintain it. Then you have to maintain this. You have to come to goodness because we get affected by it.
So that's
That
why
is the good.
Ajamila, even though chanted also, that time he has given a second chance.
No, no, Ajamila second chance is completely different. That is a different case only. Normal case. We are discussing in a normal level.
So in Bhakti also different cases are there, not single rule
Ah,
for
no,
everyone.
everybody is a different case. But in general, we all need sattva. Like Prabhupada in last instruction, when he's in the final days, when he's leaving his body, if you see the recordings which they are doing on the bed, now Jayadvaita Maharaj is holding the mic and you can see the Prabhupada's photo lying on the bed. Just few days are there. And what instruction Prabhupada is trying? Maintain mode of goodness, wake up in the morning, attend Mangalarti, and no maintain mode of goodness. That is the instruction Prabhupada is giving. Why is telling come to mode of goodness? Last instruction. You're understanding.
Okay, 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 Prabhuji. Okay, thank you so much. So again, I would say again that it will take some time for me to process. Slowly accept it. See, I understood, but acceptance and realizing it will take some time. Definitely,
That's it.
I'll I'll come again and tell you, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Prabhuji. Hari Krishna.
Correct. Sita Kaunit.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam. Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in your, when you were closing the session today, the last statement you made was some in the purport Prabhupada says that some people, those who suffer a lot in this human life, they must not have got the enough punishment in the hell. So, Prabhuji, how is it decided that how much punishment one person is getting in the hell and how much leftover is? So that is decided by how, Prabhuji, because one we suffer in hell, that's going to be difficult or easy, or the one we suffer in human life, that is difficult or easy. I don't know. So, what's the
Actually,
parameter?
our activities, na, there are different types of punishment is given. Like somebody, I will, some family member. So what happened is she was, she had a stepdaughter, and she used to slap the stepdaughter on the on her cheeks very much because the stepdaughter because her mother died and then her father married another wife, so she was okay, but after that she was when her child was born, the child was a little dark and this girl was very good, bright looking, so she used to be envious, and any small thing she used to give slap, so much slap. And what happened after 1 2 years, na, her daughter got some, the stepmother's daughter got some very bad health issues, and her cheek became swollen. Now she's beating the stepdaughter, but her daughter's cheek got swollen one, and it remained like that only for rest of her life. Now this is what is reaction comes. So some reactions, na, like seven births as a lizard, four births as a rat, one birth as a prostitute. So there are different types of reactions. Somebody is like very envious, so then he will be in a situation where he will be punished like that. So we don't know the details. Some punishments are cleared in hell, but some cannot be cleared in hell. You need to suffer here only. So I am just giving that examples, and so why they are suffering? No, why this girl got cheek like so reaction? Mother is also suffering. So we don't know why people suffer something in this life, and after that, why he loses his leg, why he loses his eyes. It's all very complicated. We don't know what punishment they do, and that punishment cannot be cleared in hell, so they will come here and do it. This is my understanding.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more question. Prabhuji, we say that we are in particular mode because of our conditioning, our swabhava, because of our previous impressions. So, Prabhuji, or we are into certain conditioning. Prabhu, how does, what is the relation between, again was saying that I'm, what is forcing me to act even if I don't want to, because because of the modes of nature. So what decides that which particular mode of nature we are in? Our Swabhava conditioning, or because of the in particular mode, that mode impacts our Swabhava and conditioning? How is it like, Prabhuji? I don't know my question is clear or not.
Modes affect our conditioning. Modes are more subtler. It affects our conditioning, and that is our choice we made. So, like say now I am somebody is watching television. Now he is watching more and more tamoguna. So his tamoguna is increasing. So then his swabhava is also becoming dark. So they are connected. It is like more you eat tamoguna food. So tamoguna is affecting and it will change your nature. So you are taking, basically our mind is formed with three modes only. What is our mind? What are the ingredients of the mind? Sattva, Raja and Tamo. That is the ingredients of mind. And now what are the impressions we are giving? Now a person is in Tamoguna, he will give more impressions of Tamoguna because he will like it. If somebody is in Rajoguna, he will give more impressions of Rajoguna. So then Rajoguna becomes more. That is the reason people cannot come out of the conditioning. Like say I am in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. What type of food I will eat Rajoguna, Tamoguna? What type of things I will see Rajoguna? What type of action Rajoguna? So it is reinforcing. So next life what I will be born? Again as the same person. If I am a German, I will be continue to born as a German only because I like that conditioning, I like that food, I like that situation. So I will be again and again born as a German. Again and again. So this is how the system works. You are in modes. Modes will make you to the actions. It will reinforce them again. Again you act like that. It's a cycle. A person cannot come out so easily. Not possible.
Okay. So that is because our choices decides our modes of. It's a vicious
But
loop.
you will choose according to your mode only. Your
So
choices will decide, but you choose according to the mode only, na?
uh, this is what is confusing, Prabhuji. If our choices are also because of our modes, so how does how it is decided that initially how it was decided somebody is in Rajogun or Satogun or Tamogun?
Past life. That is association. That is, see what happens now. What we are all doing. We are associating with. See what happens now. Only one choice we have. Everyone has this choice as a association which they are choosing. So karanam guna sangasya. What actions we are doing is guna sanga. That means also it means that associating what freedom we have. We all have only one freedom. Human beings. Animals don't have any freedom. Humans have a freedom of association. We cannot change our karma, but we can change our association. That will change the karma. So now what people are doing, they are associating more and with tamo and rajoguna. But if you give them sattva, then there is a chance that they will be elevated. Otherwise, they will be again repeating again and again. That is where the Shastras come, sadhu come, or even Brahmanas come, which will give the mode of goodness. So if we are associating with whomever we are associating, we try to do the actions like this.
And whom we are associating with, that also depends on what kind of mode we are in.
But what happens in childhood and other times, no, some sanskaras are given by parents, so that we don't have choice, and that will make our association. Like say, parents are training the children. Arey, Brahmanas are coming. You should be respectful to Brahmanas. Go to temple. First 4 years of age, na, children don't have choice. They will do according to parents. So that is the time parents will give all the good sanskaras, and that's the reason why mother is given 10 times more respect than or 100 times more respect than father, because she gives that sanskaras to the children, which direction to go. And based on that, if the child is making the choice in future also, that will remain. Like if parents are taking to temple, my mother used to take me to temple when I was very small. So when I am becoming big also, I want to go to temple now. So that will save me. So that first 4 years of the age of every child, where he don't have choice, mother is having the choice. She makes a difference. That is the point. That's why mother is very important role in anybody's life. She can make or break anything.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Ruprani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, in this part of Prabhupada is giving, no, Prabhuji, written, no, when a man commits murder, he becomes sinful. So similarly, therefore, he also must be killed. So what is the most, killing is the last punishment, no, Prabhuji? Is there any punishment worse than that killing? If he is killed in this lifetime, so he'll be relieved of that sin. In the next life, he'll be free of that sin. That should be the understanding, Prabhuji.
So here like say now sometimes na people say, Are, it is worse than death. Some sufferings na people feel worse than death.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they commit suicide. Why they are suffering more than death?
Suffering for while living, also they'll be suffering some
Ah,
something like that, Prabhuji. Killing means
that is sometimes it is
once it is done.
more than death
Yes.
also for them.
Okay.
Like they are losing their beloved or somebody beloved cheated them and they toot gaya and these all problems will come. So they
Okay.
feel like it was they lose their children in a very small childhood and they loved them so much more than their life.
Okay.
So some situations will happen like that. We don't
Okay.
know. Metal nature
That
has a very unique
is
way of punishing.
Prabhupada is saying many sinful reaction that is it is
Yeah,
equivalent to Prabhuji.
yeah.
So, and similarly, punishment by Yamaraja is a process of purification for the most abominable sinful. So, if he is undergoing those punishments in the hell, he'll be freed of the sinful reaction. That is the understanding. No, Prabhuji, again. But
Yes, otherwise
when
it
he's
will be
taking
more dangerous for him.
yes, Prabhuji.
Otherwise, it's more difficult for him to handle.
Mm-hmm.
This is little easier to handle. Means the punishment. Say what happens. Like now, we also have that. Thing, na? Like some punishments are there. We say okay, let it go on. After that, everything will be peaceful. Like exams or some anxiety comes. Arey, let this time pass. Okay, let this anxiety go. Maybe 2-3 months, and then I'll be free. So like that, okay, I did something wrong. Okay, let me go to hell, complete this, and I'll be free from it. Several
Okay.
days, okay, I help you. You did something wrong. I'll free you from that, and you can come back and be this.
Okay. But Prabhuji, if the soul is with the subtle body, if he is suffering in the hell, will he be knowing this is because of this only I am suffering? Will he be free of that, Prabhuji, in the next life? No, na.
Yeah.
But
The tendency may not go, but the reaction goes.
because of for that only they are suffering. But the tendency always remains as our vasanas, no, Prabhuji.
To some extent, tendency will go, but not completely.
What is the use of this punishment then?
No. To some extent, tendency will go. Not that
Oh,
completely will not go, but something will.
oh,
So now, even now, childhood also, now sometimes our parents punished and did something. So many
oh,
of our tendencies change na, from childhood, if you take it like that.
yeah,
Why it
yeah,
is like this? Because our parents punish. You don't remember the punishments which your parents give, but you
yeah.
definitely remember that has changed you. Your
To correct
family.
us, they'll be giving us punishments.
Yeah.
But that is very, it is not very, when compared to this and all, that is very meager, no, Prabhuji. Like doing some mischievous things. It's like that only, now in the childhood, we'll do like that only, na, Prabhuji. Not like grave mistakes like that, no, Prabhuji.
Grave mistakes, Emerald will take care. If you're small, that's why he gave you mother. He says she will
Yeah,
take care.
yeah,
Mother,
thank
if
you.
you are not listening to mother, then Emerald will take care.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Regarding this PPT, today's PPT,
I already
that
said.
no, not for sharing. The signs of anxiety, that is what you have the PPT, like, no, Prabhuji? How the anxiety.
That I'll take separate class because that is too. Uh, After taking it, I understood. It is too less a time. I cannot. I am not rushing on it. I will do it in detail because it is injustice to that PPT.
No, what I
Concept is very easy.
see, like when we are doing bhakti, sadha tat bhava. So when we are chanting, always no. So you have to remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That is the principle. So how that applies to this, what you have given, no.
Yeah,
First of
yeah,
all,
yeah. We'll discuss it.
this is happening. No, what change is happening in us? I just want to hear from you, Prabhuji. See, not a
Yeah,
material, like spiritually, what is happening to us, like when you chant, how our
yeah,
mood, bhava, to get that remembrance. I just want to relate that to this. I just want to hear from you. Okay, Prabhuji. Anyways, when you are taking in that time, I'll ask the question. Thank you so
yeah.
much for
We will go deeply because it's a differently topic. I unnecessarily opened it. I thought
okay.
I will do it, but then we will do it later.
No, no. Anyway, it is affecting our consciousness, no, Prabhu. This anxiety. So
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
change that bhava? No? Ultimately, we have to think of Krishna, no. So how
Yeah.
this is when you apply Mahamantra, when you chant Mahamantra, how this is changing? Like everything, it should change. No, we have to think of Krishna at any case, any time. So how does that helps in this? Okay. Anyways, Prabhuji, when you take that, I will ask the question. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Gail Mataji. You have to unmute Mataji. You are there? Okay. Sukhi Devi Mataji. You have to unmute both of them. You are not able to unmute. Sukhi Mataji, Gail Mataji. Okay. So there is a question in the chat box. Oh, you can't unmute. So you can type Mataji. I will take the question. One question in chat box. Choices decide by mode and vice versa, but choices of Krishna conscious person can be made in right conscious as servant of servant, and that rises above the gunas. Yes, you are making a choice there of going with Guru. Either you can type in the chat box or you exit and again join. Then you may able to do it, or we can do it tomorrow. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, my son has a question because even he hears the class. Can he ask the question, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll give him.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Wonderful.
Prabhuji, I heard that in one instance you did mention that Ajamala was also, the Yamduta also came to take Ajamala because some way or the other he was having intoxicants like alcohol. My simple question is that the rules and regulations are made just to maintain harmony in the society. For example, if in case a person is killing, uh, an other living entity just so that, to satisfy his own stomach, I do understand, he doesn't have any sort of rights for that. But on the same point of time, on the contrary, if you go to see, a Jamila, or if in case a person is consuming intoxicants but is not causing harm in the society, on what rules or regulations or on what basis do the Yamadutas come and give him punishment is my first question. And my second question is that there are many instances in that even in the heavenly planets, that they do consume somras, which is also part of intoxicant as well. So then why don't those people who are residing in the heavenly abodes also get the punishment because they are also consuming an intoxicant? Is my question, Roji. Can you just answer it?
It is not just consuming alcohol, true. Because of the effect of alcohol, he was doing many sinful activities also. That is also another point to be understood. So Ajamila was plundering people, he was robbing, he was abducting them, and he was doing many sinful activities. So what happens is it's not just the consumption of alcohol. Why it is sinful? Because it is blocking your consciousness, and it will taking you to a lower state of consciousness. And the lower state of consciousness is like animal state. Say like somebody want to be dull, like you are giving him all facilities to be very active and all, but he is taking alcohol and is sleeping on the floor, and no, he is lying on the street, and he is just trying to be in a dull state. Now you have to hire somebody in your office. You will select somebody who is active and who is able to do something. Somebody who is, and now you say you appointed somebody in your office for your certain job, and then he became intoxicated and not doing his job and all. What you will do? You'll fire him. You say you are not fit for it. So similarly, human life is given for a higher purpose, to make us conscious and to use our intelligence for higher things. Now somebody is not using it, then you have to fire him. Then firing from human body means you will again get animal body. So the suffering is, the punishment is because you misused what facility is given to you. You are given some higher intelligence, but you are living like animal. You want to be dull like animal. You say, fine with me, take the animal body again. So that is why it is a, that's why they are punished. Punishment in the sense they get animal body again. And another thing for Rajamila case is he is punished because of another reason is he was doing sinful activities. So person is intoxication, he will do illicit activities, illicit sex, or meat eating, and he was doing meat eating also, he was gambling also, and he was doing other robbery and other things also. So these are all considered that the facility which is given to you, you misused, now you are taken back. And another thing is you are punished also. Now when it comes to heavenly pleasures, they paid and they are taking it. That is not in Samoguna, that is in Sattva. Say, I will tell. Like you mix curd with honey. So it becomes one type of beverage. It is also intoxicating beverage. If you mix honey and curd and take it, it's very, very Varuni taste. It's some glimpse of it. Now, this is an intoxication, and you ferment the rice and or some other grapes and you take it. That is also intoxicating. So if you take black grapes, fresh one, and you nicely make a juice and add some dry fruits and some sugar into it, or honey or anything, and it is intoxicating. You ferment the grapes and you take, it is also intoxicating. So there is a difference. One is samoguna, which will degrade the consciousness. One is in little sattva. So it will not degrade the consciousness, but person will enjoy it. So that is the difference. You can unmute yourself. You have any class you want to ask person?
No, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot for your clarification. Thank you.
Gelmataji, you still have? Okay. Thank you all very much. We'll discuss tomorrow.